The only easy day was when it wasn't leg day. As you can imagine, in today's video, we're going to be smashing quads along with some abs. A little bit of hamstrings in there, might as well. But it's going to be a banger. What's up, guys? It's Shane here, and we are 1 week away from Super Bowl Sunday. Seahawks versus the Patriots. I'll be doing a little bit of sports betting, more than likely. My rare couple times a year that I dabble in that. I don't know. I'm putting my money on the Seahawks, okay? This might come back to bite me in the butt by the time I upload this video, but it is what it is. I think the Seahawks have a bit more momentum going into the Super Bowl. I think they wanted a bit more. I'm going to give it to them. All right, we'll see what happens. If I stop posting on YouTube after this video, it's because I made millions off my sports betting, putting my entire life savings on the Hawks. And if you see my uploads increase in frequency, it's because I'm trying to make up for a lot of lost money. Anyway, we're here at Atlantis. Like always, we got our pre-workout in our new shaker cup. The one I had originally from all of my other videos during my bodybuilding prep was this plastic screw-on cap bottle that I'd gotten from Japan when I went to the Gundam factory in Yokohama. That was badass as well. But after 3 years of usage, it was kind of just not doing the job anymore, and moved on. Got a nice little small shaker cup here. Body weight this week is holding steady at 147. Obviously, since the holidays had ended, I've gone to clean up the diet a bit more, and I have a little more predictability around what I'm eating. So that's helping a lot with reducing any unwanted bloating or water retention. And we're still getting stronger week to week in the gym, training. So without further ado, let's hop into the gym, get into the first working exercise. Anyway, I'll see you guys in there. Let's go. Welcome, friends and viewers, to another installment of leg training. Today's focus being on quads and abs thrown at the end. We're starting it off with the pendulum squat here at Atlantis. Similar to what a hack squat might feel like, although the arc of movement, as you can see, along with the high amount of back padding, allows you to really get into a kind of squat range motion and a squat feel without having to worry about your lower back or having to worry about so much more core stability. I do think core stability has its place in compound lifts like the squat, deadlift, bent over row, but at other times you don't necessarily want core strength to limit how hard you can push your legs. Here we're going to have our top set. We did 3 plates. It might have been my first time, I think. Yes, it was. It's my first time doing 3 plates on the pendulum squat. I like to keep my hands at my knees, not necessarily because I'm pushing a lot through them, but just at the bottom of the squat, I have a little something to give me a bit of a spot just in case I need it. I'm going to grind out, I think, 8 repetitions here. This was 7 maybe. Do a little rest pause, breathe, remember why I'm doing it. Control the descent and then explode out. Oh shit, I'm doing another one. Let's go, dude. Okay, no, I'm still going. Forget what I said. Oh yeah, that's the one. Nice. So we did 4 sets total there. Pretty happy about that. Second exercise we moved on to is a kind of inclined leg press. This one also doesn't just go straight down and up at that diagonal angle, but you kind of see it drops a little to move with your foot and your ankle. I find it just feels way better on my knees, better on my hamstrings, my quads, everything. It allows me to get into a deep level of knee flexion, which is going to be able to push that quad activation and quad stimulation just a little further. So this is a great one to include if you have access to it. But otherwise, you can also use any other leg press. I was aiming for, I think, 15 reps. So a little higher rep in this one. Not as much focus on the weight per se. And by the end of this, you're kind of getting cramping going on in the quads. Just because there's so much blood flow getting in there, and you're going through such a deep range of motion. It feels awesome. You're going to be toast after you finish this. We got one more here. Bit of a closer angle. I filmed this set, one set prior at this angle, but my camera was a bit closer, and when I was pushing the plates up, you can see they enter the frame right here. Actually knocked over my tripod, camera fell over. A little embarrassing, but it is what it is. We do what we can. So you see me doing a little bit of self-spotting just in case, but again, using my hands as minimally as possible. And just trying to get towards those 15 reps. Not super controlled the last little bit, but at that point you're pretty much toast anyway, so just try to milk it. Exercise number 3 to finish the quads off completely is going to be machine leg extensions. Now at this point my quads are pretty toast, and this is just to make sure I finish off whatever last bits of muscle fiber are still intact after those first 2 exercises. Aiming for also 12 to 15 reps. I'll do about 4 sets in total, pyramiding up slowly in weight. But this one, I found leg extensions, especially as I prepped for the comp, really just helped with getting detail and deeper lines within your quads. Didn't necessarily contribute to like a huge amount of growth during my off season. And I've experimented with starting quads on quad extensions and then moving on to squats. That also is a good method. Final exercise, because we're here, is a bit of a single leg hamstring curl. I'm happy to see that my hamstring is kind of visible as it's working here, even though I'm in my bulk and I'm at a higher body fat percentage. Means that I'm staying relatively lean, even though I'm in this caloric surplus, and I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger every week. Nothing crazy here. I mean, it's a plate loaded Atlantis machine. Feels really good. It lets you lean over to kind of stabilize yourself. So I'm on my elbows here and just focus in on trying to contract the hamstring to bring the weight up, not just thinking of pulling the weight up towards my butt. So we did about 10 to 12 reps per set on this one. And then that was it. Legs were finished. We did some calves for maybe 3-4 sets. I'll switch between bent knee seated and then standing with my knees straight for one day or another. And then we moved on to our ab exercise, which you'll see here in just a second. Abs this week was going to be a cable crunch. You'll see that I take a kind of a far away stance with my knees. I'm not directly under the pulley, I guess. And that allows the arc of movement to really strengthen at the abdominal region. I'm thinking about bringing the point of my chest or my solar plexus down towards my kind of groin area. So you're seeing this curve happen, going from my extension down here into flexion. My hand grip is decent, but I'm not pulling with my arms in any way. I'm just locking it in, letting everything come from my abs for my 15 to 20 reps. Alright, so fast forward about 30 minutes or so from the end of that workout. I did my 30 minutes of Stairmaster as usual, did some posing practice, which I didn't film, but made my way home now. We're going to be having the post-workout meal. It's currently 10 a.m. and I have a physiotherapy client at home today at 11, so a little bit of time to eat. I got myself some classic ground beef and rice. About 150 grams ground beef, 200 grams rice. It's like 45 grams protein, 55 grams carbs. And I'm gonna be trying a buffalo sauce that usually I don't think goes great with ground beef, but I'm hosting Super Bowl next Sunday, so I just want to see in general what this tastes like before I start throwing it on wings and things of that nature. And this one, the Kinder Barbecue, is for 1 tablespoon of sauce, 25 calories, 2 grams of fat, 1 gram carbs, but almost 400 milligrams of sodium. So there you have it, that's what that looks like. I'm gonna mix it around and we'll give it a bit of a taste test. All right, here we go. It's quite tasty. Definitely got that spice and that kick to it that a buffalo sauce should have. So, man, I'm happy with that. I wouldn't put too much though on top of this. It's already really good with just the ground beef rice and the diced up onion that I put in it and the steak seasoning. And we're gonna finish this up. I'll see my client. Client is a soccer player with pain on their patellar tendon or the front of their knee when they're playing soccer and running and loading that knee. What we found with this person was that they had not been doing any kind of soft tissue work to maintain flexibility and mobility of that tissue. So their quad was extremely tight, along with, you know, glutes and hips, things of that nature, which when you have a really tight quad creates a lot of tension on the tendon innately. And that over time can create some anterior knee pain, not just with getting into a stretched position, but actually usage of the muscle, like with running, squats, and everything above the sun. So this person's getting much better. It's the 3rd time I'll be seeing them. If everything looks good, then they can go fully back to playing and practice, and that'll be that. If you guys are interested more in the physiotherapy stuff that I do, I work a lot with lifting athletes, bodybuilders, people who do different kinds of sports. I can speak more to that in future videos, or I can maybe even do some like injury rehab stuff if I see that there's an interest for it. Anyway, let's get this food down and we'll move on with our day. So I was thinking today while I was filming the vlog that it had been quite a while since we had a bit of a heart-to-heart conversation about something beyond just training methods and rep schemes to build muscle. And I think that something I was getting a lot of comments on or messages for in the last few weeks has been centering around either not being able to go to the gym or skipping a workout or deciding not to do a certain training because the day itself got busy or because the day before there was some circumstance that came up which made it so that maybe going to the gym was just not ideal for that person. And I reflected on why I feel I need to go to the gym every single time that I'm supposed to, regardless of whether or not I slept well, whether or not I'm feeling super recovered. The idea of still showing up is huge for me. And for myself, and I think this is the case for quite a few people who do get pretty serious into fitness, the training and the gym and lifting weights, and whether it's bodybuilding or powerlifting or Olympic weightlifting, whatever, it goes much more beyond the physical realm in terms of why we do it and the benefits we see from it. I would almost say that there is probably 30 to 40% the physical benefits, and then more importantly, 50 to 60% is the spiritual and mental benefits. You know, when I go to the gym and I'm going to train hard and push myself and go to failure or push past failure, I'm not just deciding to train a muscle to stimulate muscle growth and to break it down. I'm making a conscious decision to go and do something that I know is out of my comfort zone, that I know is going to be uncomfortable, but is going to lead to my goal and bigger and better growth down the line. And so if you encapsulate what I just said into almost any goal that you're going to have in life, you're going to have to go through some discomfort and some kind of moment of, I guess, uncertainty and fear or even risk in order to attain that goal. But that feeling, if you have it, means that you're more than likely going to get a step closer to what you want to do and where you want to be. You know, doing things that are considered difficult and hard, on one hand, our society kind of shuns it because human nature demands the path of least resistance, right? If we could get something for almost no input versus getting the same thing for a lot of input, we're more than likely to take the low input method. However, I do think that there is a developmental and hardening effect on your spirit and on your mind as a person to go through something that is difficult, to go through hardship, and to push through despite challenges along the way. If you think about, the most capable and competent and can handle whatever stressor in life person in your mind, all right? Just picture that person and ask yourself, what would I make that person go through, or what would I make that person experience growing up in order to make them extremely capable and durable and confident? You would probably say, okay, like I want someone who started at a low point and through sheer force of will and determination and grit was able to build and build and build and get better and then reach their goal. That person is going to be dangerous because they're going to be able to do whatever they want to do and whatever they set their mind to. And so why should we be any different? Why should you be any different? Why should I be any different? I would want everyone to welcome challenges, to welcome a level of hardship that is uncomfortable but manageable and that you can push forward to handle well. Because you're going to come out of that better than you were before 9 times out of 10. So those are just my thoughts that I was having a bit this past week. I do think that the mental aspect of training and fitness and health and wellness is extremely important, and your mentality is going to come in play way more often and be a much bigger factor in your success than the actual physical work that you're going to be doing. Anyway, I think that's going to be it from me for today's video. Next week is going to be Super Bowl weekend, so it's going to be busy. I have a friend's 30th birthday that I'll be heading to, so we'll see how much I get to film, or if I do film a training. But if I don't see you, make sure you follow me on Instagram especially, and other social media, so that we can talk a little bit about what happens. I think the Seahawks are going to win. I'm putting my money on it. We'll see what goes down. I hope this video finds you guys well. Do like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, peace out, bye.